Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. There is something so sacred about love, love itself, love for any reason, even if it's attached to a material object or a person. It's still drawing you nearer to what love is really about. This dear one was reminded of an experience he had in the late 60s, his first week or two of college, first time away from home. And very quickly, the people in the dorm realized that he was a pretty good mark for playing pranks on because he got so upset when they would do tricks to him. So the pranks happened every day, shaving cream in an envelope, stomped on and shoved into his room under the door. And then they all listened for his reaction and got a good laugh out of it. And the pranks escalated and escalated and escalated. And most of the time he was confused and upset, didn't understand what he did to have them tease him so mercilessly. There didn't seem to be any solution. He went to the dormitory resident and he walked in and said, "Someone took my pillow." And they all looked at each other and grinned and said, "Did somebody take your pillow?" It just got worse and worse. Anyway, he met a woman his freshman year and was so besotted with her, fell so in love with her, that he finally had this date with her. And he came back to the dorm in such a feeling of love, even if it was a special relationship. He was so enraptured by the feeling of being in love that the next prank didn't get the same reaction. It was late at night. He walked into his room and there was nothing in his room. The guys had emptied out the room entirely and reconstructed his room out in the woods. His desk, his table, his chairs, his bed, everything was out in the woods. And instead of going crazy, he just knocked on his neighbor's door and said, "Hey, my stuff's missing. I think I see it out in the woods there. Will you help me bring it back in?" There was no reaction. And his friend next door helped to move the stuff back in. And then the friend said, "You're no fun anymore." Disappointed that there wasn't this big reaction. But the reason there was no reaction is because he was in the experience, as far as he could get, of love. And that made everything else seem insignificant. And that was the end of the pranks. They all ended after that when he wasn't a good audience or a good recipient. And while that's maybe a shallow example of what love really is, anything that brings forth the experience of love in you is legitimate because it's offering you the truth. And it's also offering you permanence, something that doesn't change, doesn't fade, doesn't have to be protected, doesn't require competition or comparison. Love itself. That's who you are. That's what life is. That's why you're here. In any form. bringing you closer and closer to the experience of your divine self, which is nothing but love. And that's what you can count on. As everything else whirls around you and changes and goes up and down, you have the experience of permanence. And what is permanent is the most glorious feeling of safety and peace and warmth and acceptance and forgiveness. Love itself. That's who you are. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.